Video review.
A sack in the backfield that sent this offense backpedaling.
There are a few things that football game fans have been wanting more than a new entry from 2K Sports. But now, 3 years later, there's an all-new entry in 2K Sports Football called All-Pro Football 2K8. Now, 2K still doesn't have the NFL license, so in lieu of doing what Midway did by just creating an all-fake football league, 2K actually went back and got over 200 classic players from the NFL's past. You'll see guys like Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and a whole host of others that you can sort of mix and match to create your own dream team of classic players. It's a neat premise, and the gameplay is really solid because it feels so much like NFL 2K5. So much so, in fact, that it almost feels like they just kind of recycled NFL 2K5 with an all-new premise, and a lot of the game does actually feel a little bit old. In order to create your own team, you start out with 11 slots that you can use for classic players. They're all ranked into gold, silver, and bronze tiers. And then you can just sort of kind of mix and match however you like. Any position that isn't filled by a classic player is made up by a bunch of scrub players that, you know, can kind of hold the game, but they're definitely not up to the level of a lot of the classic players. 2K Sports hasn't really furthered the gameplay engine in any major notable ways. There's a new gang tackle system that actually works a lot better than the one instituted in the last couple of Madden games. There's a new kick meter, which doesn't really work very well, and there's kind of a new tackling system with the right analog stick that you can kind of use for reach tackles and high and low tackles and such. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same game you remember from 2K5. The running game is still fantastic. The offensive game as a whole feels really good. The defensive game is probably about on par with where it was in 2K5 in terms of AI and difficulty and just, the mechanics you can use to play around with. There is a season mode, but it's only one season, and once you go through it, that's pretty much it. Create another team and go through it again if you want. Online play is the one place that doesn't feel like it's kind of been stripped down. There's still the usual ranked and player matches, it's got the online tournaments, it's got the online leagues. Undoubtedly, if you're one of the throngs of people who've been waiting for a new 2K football game, your expectations are exceedingly high, and 2K8 probably isn't going to meet them. The game just isn't quite up to the level of what you've come to expect from 2K's football games, and while it's a solid entry and a good starting point for the series, it's got a long way to go.
Sanders is all by himself, and he'll take advantage of it. Easy catch.
That's the first score.